What's up YouTube? So in this video we're going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be like a vlog style video if you like, and I'm going to turn some of my matte mice into a polished mouse. And you might be wondering why I would do that. I would suggest this looks pretty cool. My friend sent me the Lamzu Atlantis after he'd polished it, and when it arrived, this is the first experience I had of a polished mouse. I really took to the feeling of the polished surface. Some people have commented online saying that polished mice are a bit slippier. It's not my experience, and I get quite hot and sticky, but I'll talk you through what I've got here in terms of materials to actually do this mod. So I bought a couple of these cones. They're like foam cones off of Amazon. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to stick it in my drill and I'm going to polish the mouse with that foam roller. And I've also got some metal polish. This is Auto Sol. And I've also got these little, I'll show you it on the drill. So it's like a buffer pad and it's on my impact driver. So that will be what makes it all nice and shiny at the end. So we're going to see how it goes. I'll talk you through the process as I go through it. So the mouse that I have done already is this dragonfly. So you can see the kind of effect it's had. It's all quite nice and shiny. And I'm going to try and replicate that process now on my X2 Mini just to see how the green comes out. I'm curious. I've got a black, I've got a white, I now want a green one. So first things first, I'm going to take the grip tape off. If I was going to polish my main mouse, I would probably take the internals out first because I wouldn't want to damage those with any residue from the metal polish getting flung around with that drill cone that I've shown you already. But because I don't really use my X2 Mini anymore, I'm just going to polish it as it is, and I'll just accept the risk that I may end up with some residue around the edges of the buttons, etc. that will come out on its own. Hopefully it won't cause any long-term damage. So here we are, this is the mouse before I've polished it. It does look a little bit shiny there, but I can assure you it is matte. So we're going to get started now, and the first thing I'm going to do is use some of this metal polish, and I'm just going to push it on the bit that I want to polish first, which will be, I'll probably do these sides first. Don't ask me why. It's just what I want to do, and I am really just sort of chucking it on. Maybe that's not the right way to do it, but I'm just sort of slapping it on there. So you can see I've just chucked on the polish. Still got a little bit on my finger. And now I'm gonna use my drill. So I'm just gonna turn the sound off now because it's gonna get a little bit loud, but you can watch. I'll either mute it or fast forward it. One thing I'm realizing is that this is really dusty because I've already used this cone. So instead of causing an issue for my wife when she comes home, because she will bollock me if I don't do this, I'm just going to change out the cone and use a different one so I don't spread dust all around the house. So let's just wipe that off and we will start again. And just stick a little splodge, squidge it all back in again. And this time we'll do it with the cone that hasn't been used. Ready? So I'm going to give the rest of the hump a bit of a go over now. I'll give it a go and I'll buff it shortly after I've done a first pass. If it's not quite as shiny or as glossy as I like, then I will go over it again with a second pass. So one of the things I did last time was I kind of just held the drill into my chest and used it to manipulate the mouse around because it gives it like quite a solid basis to sort of work from. So I'm going to do that again now, and I'll mute the video again. So that is starting to look quite nice. See, it's a little bit shinier. Just use a paper towel to wipe it off and see how we're doing. I'm going to do the other side now, and then we'll do the buttons and we'll give it a buff. All right, so that's loads on there. So I'm going to stick some on the button as well. I might do that all in a oneer. There we are, just slathering it on. Like butter in toast, look at that. Lovely. Right. So I think that's the first pass complete. Just gonna give it a wipe with the paper towel and I'm gonna buff it. So you can see it doesn't really look that shiny at the moment. It looks a little bit shinier maybe if I hold it in the light. But as soon as I get this buffer on it, I'm hoping it will start to really show through the gloss coating that we've applied or created. So this one's a lot louder. I will save your ears and mute it. That wasn't supposed to happen. Although, look at that. That's beautiful. Stick this fucker back on. Look on there, you prick. There we are. Right, let's do that again. Starting to look really nice. That's taken me a few minutes, no more than a few minutes. Can you see that? How shiny that is now? I've done a little bit on the side. Tell me that doesn't look sick. Right, I'm gonna do the rest. One thing I'm noticing when I hold it on there for a long time at high speeds is it does heat up the plastic, but if it happens to you, don't worry about it, it's just friction. Do the buttons now, and then we're gonna finish it off and round up. All right, I think that looks pretty sick. Let me get all of this off. Tell you what I should have grabbed. I should have grabbed a microfiber cloth. Right, here we are. So, I don't think that needs a second pass, personally. I think it looks pretty good as it is. And I'd say, coating-wise, it feels pretty nice too. So if I was claw gripping this mouse, the hump is now super sticky. Can you hear that? It's also very nice to look at if you care about that sort of thing. But what I would maybe consider is if you're a fingertip gripper, this may not be the optimal approach to, making it grippy for you. If you're a fingertip gripper, you probably want some grip tape because polishing your mice is more a case of the more in contact with it, the grippier it gets. So in fingertips, you typically only use the tips of your fingers, so it may not be optimal in that use case. All right, finally, before I go, quite a quick one, this one. You can see in the recesses of the buttons and stuff, there's like a bit of that polish, dust or paste or whatever. In the top there, you can see a little bit. That's the reason why if I was doing this to a mouse that I really didn't want to break, or I wanted to make sure it was fine afterwards, I would take it apart and I'd give it all a good clean before I reassemble it. So I'm just going to grab a microfiber cloth quickly, I'm going to polish it up by hand, and then I'm going to chin this off and go to the post office. All right, I've got my cloth, just a microfiber cloth, just going to give it a wipe over, just get rid of all the debris if I can. And then we'll see how we go. So here we are. Give it a good little wipe. See if we can get a good angle for the shine. You see that? How beautiful that looks. Oh, get it in the light. See that? That is banging. Not a bad mod, super easy. Hello. Super affordable. So all of that kit cost, I think it was about £5 for the polish. I think it was about £8 for the buffer things. And it was about the same amount, probably less than a tenner for the cones that you polish the actual mouse with itself. So super affordable. So this sort of modification is really good for the sort of palm and claw grippers among you. Like I've said before, the more you have in contact with the mouse, the more skin you have in contact with the mouse, the grippier this will be. It works really well for me personally with my skin and my sort of heat levels. What I'd suggest if you're a fingertip gripper, you probably would want to use grip tape instead, unless you like the look, in which case you probably end up polishing it and then putting grip tape over the top. Let me know if you like this style of video. Otherwise, have a wicked day. Catch you later. Peace out, peace out.